Late at night, the streetlights were flickering, and the sparse pedestrians had already returned to their warm homes. Shanlun, the cab driver, decided to take one last customer home before ending a long night's work himself. The streets were disturbingly quiet, with few people out and about. Shanlun drove his car aimlessly when he glimpsed a white shadow appearing ahead of him, ghostly swaying in the pale headlights, seemingly waving to him. On this silent night, such an unexpected figure instantly broke the peace and caused a series of ominous thoughts to pass through Shanlun's mind, that is, what people usually do not want to think about, ghosts. In the end, Shanlun decided to stop and pick up this mysterious figure. After the door opened, the figure that got on the bus added a bit more apprehension to his heart. It was a woman, and her voice was unusually harsh and piercing. "Please take me to the crematorium." This request sent shivers down Shanlun's spine, and although his mind thought that it was unlikely to be true, the fear was already deeply planted in his heart. He didn't dare to continue thinking about it, and only hoped that he could quickly get this strange passenger to her destination. The woman in the car was bloodless and sat in her seat in silence, speechless all the way. Shanlun felt extremely displeased and uneasy, and it was difficult for him to restrain the urge to flee immediately. When the crematorium was already in sight, he reluctantly found an excuse and said to her with a slightly trembling voice, "Miss, I'm sorry, it's inconvenient to make a U-turn in front of us. Please get out the car and enter on foot, it's not much farther." The woman nodded silently, and the moment she pulled the door open, she turned around and asked, "How much is the fare?" Shanlun waved his hand and said sharply, "All right, no need, it's definitely inconvenient for you to come here alone at this late hour, so don't mention it." The woman seemed to insist on paying, but Shanlun's attitude was resolute. "That's it." The woman finally gave up, with a hint of faint gratitude in her tone before she left. Then, "Thank you." Afterward, the car door opened silently, and the woman's figure quickly disappeared. Shanlun expected to hear the sound of the door closing, but the sound was not heard. The contrasting silence made him more and more nervous, so he turned back to confirm, only to find that the woman had disappeared. Fear gradually gripped his heart, and Shanlun was surprised when he checked the vehicle and the woman disappeared completely as if she had never existed. His curiosity overcame his fear and drove him to get out of the car to check, his mind filled with doubt and anxiety about the unknown. Cautiously walking over to the unclosed car door, Shanlun whispered to himself, "Could it be? Could it be? She really disappeared just like that?" Just as uncontrollable panic surged in his heart and he wanted to quickly escape, a bloody hand rested on his shoulder. He turned his head in horror and saw the woman's blood-covered face as she stood trembling and said in a voice that made Shanlun tremble, "Sir, please next time you park, don't park by the gutter."